Let's take a look at how you can clean the inside of your motorcycle's gas tank without having to buy any expensive caustic chemicals. You can pretty much do this with stuff you already have in your kitchen, nothing special at all. And you're going to be shocked at the results you get, I guarantee it. Now the bike I'm going to do it to, in this particular case, is this one right here. This is an old 3-cylinder 750 water-cooled 2-stroke. Talk about a weird, bizarro land thing. This is crazy. Look at the back end. You got 4 exhaust pipes, and it's a triple, right? 4 exhaust pipes. You come up front here. It's clearly a 3-cylinder bike. What's that all about? I don't know. But that's not what we're here for. We want to check out this gas tank. Now on this particular one, I've already drained the fuel out of it, and I've already had a look inside, and this thing is rotten. It's just rusty and shitty. The only good thing is I know it doesn't leak. The first thing you notice when you get up close is the actual stink of this. The smell is rank. It is just like barf. The next thing you notice is how rusty it is inside. Like, I don't know how it got like this. Well, I do. It's because of water and just me neglecting the tank. That's why it's like this. But take a look inside and you'll see what I mean. Look. All right, see around that corner? See that in the back corner there? You can see, go on the other side of the tank. Like, look at that. How horrible is that? That's absolutely disgusting. For me to have let it get to that state, well, there's no excuse. That's just all neglect on my part, so, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna be able to fix it, and we're gonna do it, like I said, without any caustic chemicals. It's not gonna cost a lot. It's stuff you already have kicking around in your kitchen. Guaranteed. You are gonna be blown away with the results. So, enough yakking. Let's get this tank off the bike and we'll get to it. Okay, now, with the tank off the bike, there's a couple things we've gotta look at. I wanna be able to seal up this gas cap properly. I mean, these are okay, but when you start sloshing fluid around, they can leak, especially if they're upside down and get weird, so I want to take that off. That's that. And the last thing I want to do is take off this petcock. And I'm not talking about a friendly chicken, I'm talking about this thing here. Yeah, petcocks. What the heck were you thinking about? And because we're going to be putting some aggregate and some stuff inside here, I just don't want to damage this. These things come off pretty easy. Yours is probably very similar. Now, because this tank has been messed up, this fuel tap is not good. So we'll look at that after. But I want to be able to plug that off so it doesn't leak when we're sloshing stuff around. So I made this little aluminum plate with a little cork gasket. You can do the same, or you can use a piece of tape, same idea. It's good. Now on the top, to seal this, I ended up buying an expandable bung. It's sort of a plug that as you drive in this butterfly screw, you can see it squashes it and it makes that plug expand. So when I fit that in there, I'll be able to make a real tight seal. All right, look at that. That's the scenario you want to end up with in this case, right? You can put a lot of fluid and stuff inside the tank now, slosh it around, turn it upside down. You're not going to get a leak out of here or out of here. So that's kind of what you want to end up with. Whatever you got to do, just make it tight and tidy. You'll be glad you did. Now we can move on to phase 3. Okay, now, to attack all the crusty, rusty, scaly bits of rust on the inside of this tank, the best method I have found is to just use a bunch of hardware like old deck screws, stuff like that. They're nice and sharp. Just an assortment of hardware, whatever you got inside your shed. I mean, you could use nails, cotter pins, you could even use pennies, old dimes, quarters. Once you agitate this and scrape it around, you're gonna have success physically scraping the rust off the inside of this tank. That's basically what we're gonna try and do here. The way I do it is I grab a funnel, so yeah. Then I'm gonna go with a handful of nuts. Same idea, just drop them. Then I'm gonna go for a handful of washers. But like I say, whatever you got, just improvise. It doesn't matter. Another thing that could even work, if you have some bits of chain kicking around like that, just old bits of rusty chain, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to scrape around in here, right? Perfect. The whole idea is we're just gonna rotate the tank, scrape it around, and you know, hopefully all this stuff will get in the edges and the corners depending on how long we do this and how much rotation we get. We should be able to get pretty much every corner and side of this tank. Now, you could do it dry, but the only problem with that is when you try and get all this stuff out, you don't have any fluid to suspend all the rust and all the bits of stuff, so it's just better if we get some fluid in there. Let's get this thing in the house and we'll get some hot soapy water in there before we seal it up and start the agitation process. All right, so let's go do that. All right, so here in the back room, we got the perfect setup to get some water in here. There's no specific amount, maybe a gallon, maybe 2. I don't know, just get some liquid in there, make sure it's nice and hot. Oh yeah, that's about right. Next up, maybe a little drizzle of dish soap in there. Perfect, you don't need much. And then cap it off. Test it out, make sure it doesn't leak. Okay, we're good. Now the shake process, right? The longer you do this, the better the results. Not exactly easy. Now there is a better way. You just got to convince the wife it's a good idea, and I'll show you what I mean right here. Here it is right here. You got the perfect agitating machine sitting right in your own house. The dryer. All you got to do is, like I say, is convince the wife it's a good idea. That thing will go for hours. You don't get any better results. Hours and hours of that thing spinning and churning around. Incredible. The only thing is, chucking a tank in here is not a good idea unless you pad it up. You don't want that thing banging around and getting all dented, right? So, best idea, you take the duvet off the bed, but you want to make this thing tight inside the dryer drum. So, just jog it in. Okay, maybe get another blanket in there. The tighter the better. Remember to pack the top. You don't want any space where that thing can flop around. And to finish it off, you can even throw a dryer sheet in there, make it smell real nice. And if she's not around to witness you doing this, you can get that duvet out of there and back on the bed. She'll thank you for doing the laundry. Bonus. So it's a win-win. Now all we gotta do is turn this sucker on and walk away. Okay, so you've had this tank thrashing and rolling around inside that dryer for probably a couple hours, maybe 3 hours in total. Just get this plug out. Okay, a little bit of a stench there. Let's see what comes out of this thing. Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that stuff. That is nasty right there, baby. Wow. Definitely got some crud out of there. That is some rusty soup. Okay. Wow. All right, well. Okay, so to pick up the pace a little bit, let me fill you in. I ended up taking that tank back downstairs to the sink and started flushing it out, maybe half a dozen times, just run some hot water through it until it started running clear. After that, back out to the shed and just removed all that shrapnel. Okay, now we're up to speed. Back upstairs and we'll take it from there. Okay, so now we got all the bits and pieces out of there. I tried a few different ways of doing that. I got in there with some needle nose pliers. A magnet worked okay, but by far the best method, a shop vac. Just get the nozzle on there, and because this opening was free and clear, the negative pressure this thing had, all I had to do is shake it upside down and get those screws and bolts near the hole. Man, that thing sucked it dry like a $20. Now we can take a look inside. It's nice and dry and you can get a good look in there, and you can see right there. See in the back corner now? Not bad at all. Right down on that crease there, right in the seam at that bottom side. And the back right side, look how clear that is. It's not bad. I mean, there's still a lot of rust in there, but it's not all flaky and scaly like it was before. So now we're going to attack it with chemicals. And what we got here is the same stuff you got in your cupboard, a little bit of vinegar. It's a light acid, you don't have to worry about it. You can spill it on the tank a little bit, doesn't matter, you just wipe it off obviously. But it's nothing like caustic chemicals where you really gotta be careful with what you're doing, you know, gloves, and you don't wanna breathe this stuff. So I'm gonna get this comically large funnel. There we go. It smells pretty good. That's 8 liters. Good thing we're not working with real acid, because that thing would be burning through the table right now. Oh, right in my eyes, son of a bitch. Ah! See, it's a good thing you're not working with chemicals here,
caustic chemicals, buddy. I'd be dying right now. Such an idiot. All right, off. One of the things about these GoPros, they're good cameras, but man, are they ever glitchy.
Currently not sponsored by GoPro, and based on that last comment, probably never will be.
So, we're pretty much full. Tasty. What I'm gonna do is just cap that off. Okay, we're all tight and tidy. Looks pretty good. All we gotta do is let this do its thing, let the acid eat away at all that rust and crust. Come back in 3 days, we should be good to go. Okay, time's up, that's long enough. This thing's been upstairs brewing for the past 4 days, so that's plenty of time. Get this tray up here so we can do this halfway clean without slopping it all over the place. Once we pop this cork, we'll be able to see what's going on in here. All right, well, now the first thing I notice is that smell, it's a lot less pungent. Like vinegar has that sharpness, that's gone. The acid's been in there, like I say, for 4 days, bubbling and churning and kind of grabbing at that rust, just chemically beating up that rust on the inside of the tank, doing its thing. So let's dump it out and see what it looks like. Now there is some bits coming out. Wow. Let me just swirl it around. It's quite discolored. The acid has done what it's gonna do. It's no longer white and clear. There is a lot of chunks. I'm surprised at how much chunkery is coming out of there. But I wanna stop the etching process. You add baking soda so you stop the acidic process happening. So Arm & Hammer baking soda, that's the brand I'm using.
Currently not sponsored by Arm & Hammer baking soda, but open to offers.
Stuff's good for everything, man. You can brush your teeth with it. Guys, sandblast metal with it. What else can you do? Well, it's good for this. Okay, we want to try and nullify that acid. Stop that whole thing. Stop it dead in its track. Now you see why I wanted to do this outside instead of upstairs. It's a lot easier. You can be a little sloppy. Get it in your eyes like an idiot. Oh yeah. Fizzing, man. Fizzing away. Listen to that. Put my mic in there. I'm not sure on the chemistry behind all that, but I guess baking soda is the opposite of acid, so it kind of makes it not be acid anymore. I don't know. Let's see if it's running any more clear now. Oh, there you go. Nice and clear. Now at this point, I think it's a good idea. Let's try and get all the water out. So I'm gonna take this plate off the bottom. It'll allow us to get all the liquid out, and it'll give a throughway for when I put the vacuum on here. I'm gonna try and dry this thing out quick, because now the next thing is, because this metal inside is so raw and unprotected, it's subject to flash rusting, and you don't want that. It'll flash rust in no time at all. With that plate off the bottom, all I gotta do is fire up this vacuum cleaner. It's doing something. Oh yeah. Thing's sucking it dry like a $20. This is what you do when you want to imply time is passing. I don't even need a watch. I'm confident we got most of the water out of there. We've stopped that flash rusting going on, hopefully. So now's a good time to take a look with the borescope. We'll have a look inside with this camera, and we'll be able to check out how much success we actually had. So let's see. Instantly, you can tell how much nicer it is in there. Unbelievable. That's night and day. Now look in that back corner. Man, oh man, that is so impressive. The results are absolutely incredible. You can see actually right by that petcock, see, there's a good indicator. That was really, I don't know if you remember in that last slide, I'll try and put them both together, maybe if I can do that, and you can see before and after, so much better. The results speak for themselves. Pretty damn impressive. Now we're not done. The next thing to do is we're gonna absolutely 100% stop that flash rusting, because this isn't going back on the bike for a while. I'm just gonna put this plate back on, and we'll get some lube inside there. Now you can use all kinds of things. You could actually fill it up with gasoline, or you can fill it up with fogging agent that you use to winterize your bike, or an engine. Anything oily. I like to use diesel fuel. It works really well. So that's all I'm gonna do is just cap this off. I mean, you could even use WD-40, whatever you got, any kind of oil. But for me, a little bit of diesel fluid. Stuff's fairly cheap. Although, not really. By today's prices, man, diesel's gone through the roof. So yeah, it ain't that cheap, but it works really well. It's just slippery enough, oily enough. You can slop it around, it coats everything nicely. So just cap that baby off, seal it up. We're just trying to make it so that it's gonna stay rust free, right? So you just slop a little bit around inside there. And that's pretty much all you gotta do. Now, having done this and seeing the results you can get, now you can be confident in doing your own tank, or if you had to get maybe another tank online or something, you don't have to worry if it's got a little bit of rust inside, because now you know you can actually clean it up quite well and be very effective at it. But it doesn't work all the time. I did get stung one time, and if you want to see that video, I actually had to cut that tank in half because I could not believe how chaotic it was inside. It's a very interesting video. If you want to see it, check it out. It's right here. You might be glad you did. All right, I got stuff to do. See ya. Nice catch, Bo. Pro tip, wax just coats the tank surface, but baby spit, that stuff penetrates the soul of your bike. Thanks, Bo.